Wake TF up. Welcome to the Sovereign Signal, the channel of sovereign fire. Media, your grandparents were baited with newspapers. They woke each morning to headlines printed in bold, believing the ink carried truth. They trusted the press because it looked independent, local, and dignified. But behind the mastheads, the capture was already complete. William Randolph Hearst built an empire in the early 20th century, shaping public opinion with sensationalism and lies. His papers pushed wars, demonized enemies, and glorified profit. The illusion was convincing. The press looked like a guardian of democracy, but it was a weapon of control. Names matter. Hearst used his empire to push America into the Spanish-American War in 1898. "You furnish the pictures. I'll furnish the war," he told his illustrators. Truth was irrelevant. Profit and power were the goal. Your grandparents believed they were reading facts. In reality, they were consuming propaganda. By the mid-20th century, television rose as the new theater. Names like CBS, NBC, and ABC dominated. Families gathered around screens, believing anchors delivered truth. Walter Cronkite was called the most trusted man in America, but even he was bound by corporate scripts. Coverage of Vietnam was filtered, narratives shaped, dissent minimized. Your parents believed they were watching reality. In reality, they were watching theater. The consolidation accelerated. Rupert Murdoch built News Corp into a global empire. He controlled newspapers in Britain, Australia, and America. He launched Fox News, shaping political narratives with relentless bias. Sumner Redstone built Viacom CBS, controlling television, film, and publishing. Ted Turner built CNN, pioneering 24-hour news. Each empire claimed independence. In reality, they were monopolies. Your parents trusted television because it looked authoritative. Anchors wore suits, spoke with confidence, and delivered polished reports. But behind them, corporations dictated narratives. Wars were glorified, enemies demonized, dissent minimized. The Gulf War coverage in 1991 was theater. CNN broadcast missile strikes like fireworks, presenting war as spectacle. Iraq was demonized, America was glorified, and viewers were conditioned. Names again. Murdoch's empire pushed right-wing narratives. Turner's CNN shaped liberal ones. Redstone's Viacom CBS controlled entertainment and news. Disney consolidated ABC, ESPN, and film studios. Comcast swallowed NBC Universal. By the 2000s, 6 corporations controlled 90% of American media. Independence was gone. Diversity was gone. Truth was gone. You are trapped in algorithmic feeds. Facebook, Google, Twitter, TikTok, names that dominate the digital age. Mark Zuckerberg controls Facebook, shaping narratives through algorithms. Sundar Pichai controls Google, dictating search results and advertising. Elon Musk controls Twitter, amplifying chaos and distraction. Shou Zi Chu fronts TikTok, feeding dopamine loops to billions. You believe you are choosing content. In reality, algorithms choose for you. Your grandparents trusted newspapers. Your parents trusted television. You trust feeds. Each generation is baited with a new costume. The captured narrative never changes, only the disguise. Media is not truth. It is theater. It is propaganda. It is distraction. Wars are sold as necessity. Crises are sold as fear. Products are sold as salvation. Populations are conditioned to obey narratives, not to think critically. Corporations profit. Governments enforce. Sovereignty is erased. Think of your grandmother reading headlines about war. She believed she was informed, but she was manipulated. Think of your father watching television coverage of crises. He believed he was seeing reality, but he was watching theater. Think of yourself scrolling feeds. You believe you are choosing content, but you are being conditioned. Media is not progress. It is capture. Media, the digital age did not liberate truth. It buried it under algorithms. Your grandparents trusted newspapers. Your parents trusted television, but you are trapped in feeds designed to manipulate. Facebook, Google, Twitter, TikTok, names that dominate the modern landscape. Mark Zuckerberg presents Facebook as connection, but it is surveillance. Sundar Pichai presents Google as knowledge, but it is manipulation. Elon Musk presents Twitter as free speech, but it is chaos engineered for distraction. Shou Zi-Chu fronts TikTok, but behind him sits ByteDance and the Chinese state, feeding dopamine loops to billions. You believe you are choosing content. In reality, algorithms choose for you. The capture is complete. 6 corporations controlled 90% of American media by the 2000s. Now, a handful of tech giants control the digital sphere. Disney, Comcast, News Corp, Viacom, CBS dominate legacy media. Google, Meta, Amazon, ByteDance dominate digital. Independence is gone. Diversity is gone. Truth is gone. Names matter. Zuckerberg testified before Congress, claiming Facebook was neutral. In reality, it manipulated feeds to maximize engagement, polarization, and profit. Pichai claimed Google's search was objective. In reality, results were curated. Advertisers dictated visibility, and dissent was buried. Musk claimed Twitter was free speech. In reality, algorithms amplified chaos. Bots spread propaganda, and truth drowned in noise. Xu claimed TikTok was entertainment. In reality, it was surveillance, manipulation, and addiction. Your grandparents read headlines about wars. They believed they were informed. Your parents watched television coverage of crises. They believed they were seeing reality. You scroll feeds, believing you are choosing content. But you are being conditioned. Media is not truth. It is theater. It is propaganda. It is distraction. Wars are sold as necessity. Crises are sold as fear. Products are sold as salvation. Populations are conditioned to obey narratives, not to think critically. Corporations profit, governments enforce. Sovereignty is erased. Media. The global cages are visible. In China, censorship is overt. The state dictates narratives, deletes dissent, and floods feeds with propaganda. In Russia, media is controlled by oligarchs loyal to the Kremlin. In America, corporations dictate narratives, bury dissent, and glorify war. In Europe, austerity is dressed as necessity, privatization as progress, obedience as democracy. Everywhere, the same families profit. Everywhere, the same dynasties tighten their grip. Digital media is not progress. It is capture. Algorithms are cages. Feeds are chains. Notifications are obedience rituals. Populations are trained to crave dopamine, not truth. Children are raised on screens, conditioned to scroll endlessly, addicted to distraction. Sovereignty is erased before they even understand it. Names again. Susan Wojcicki ran YouTube, shaping narratives through demonetization and censorship. Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post, shaping coverage while profiting from surveillance capitalism through Amazon. Larry Page and Sergey Brin built Google, embedding manipulation into search. Reed Hastings built Netflix, flooding screens with distraction. Each empire claims independence. In reality, they are monopolies. Think of your grandmother reading headlines about war. She believed she was informed, but she was manipulated. Think of your father watching television coverage of crises. He believed he was seeing reality, but he was watching theater. Think of yourself scrolling feeds. You believe you are choosing content, but you are being conditioned. Think of your child staring at a screen. They believe they are entertained, but they are being captured. Media feeds fear. Fear feeds obedience. Obedience feeds profit. Profit feeds capture. The cycle is complete. The future is algorithmic obedience. Artificial intelligence curates feeds, decides visibility, and enforces narratives. Truth is buried. Dissent is erased. Sovereignty is erased. You will not choose content. Algorithms will choose for you. You will not think freely. You will obey narratives. You will not escape. You will comply. Media is not progress. It is capture. It is the theater of distraction, the siphon of truth, the ritual of obedience. Your grandparents were baited with newspapers. Your parents were baited with television. You are baited with feeds. Your children will be baited with algorithms coded into their lives. Each generation is fed a new lie, dressed as progress, while the same families tighten their grip. Wake up. See the captured media. Because until you do, the system will keep feeding on you. Generation after generation, dressed as progress, delivered as dependency. This is the Sovereign Signal. Support the mission. Like, share, subscribe. Wake TF up.